Ladies and gentlemen, Dubai, please welcome to the Muscle Talk stage your reigning three-time men's physique Olympia champion, Ryan Terry. For those who are on the outskirts, we have limited seating. It'll be first come, first serve, but if you want to make your way in, make yourself comfortable, we'll allow it. I won't tell anyone.
Testing 1, 2. Hi guys, just wanted before we start, my voice is a bit croaky, so I apologize. I've lost my voice, so please bear with me.
Well, that is also because you've had perhaps one of the longest lines in the entire expo,
Which is crazy, by the way.
My Protein booth. Talk to us
Yeah.
about the experience that has been for you, for My Protein here at the Dubai Muscle Show.
Yeah, so it's been absolutely phenomenal, guys. And if any of you guys have been queuing up in that queue, I want to say thank you so much because I'm absolutely blown away. And I knew obviously winning the third title a few days ago or a few weeks ago was going to be a good crowd, but not to this degree. And everybody's been so welcoming.
Talk to us about the support that you've received from My Protein. I mean, again, right now where you're at in your career.
Yep.
Having just won your third consecutive men's physique Olympia title. I know.
Say it again,
Yeah,
say it again.
I was going to say, you did that thing where you nod, you smile.
Go on.
Talk to us about the role that My Protein has played in your ambitions.
Yeah. So My Protein, I've been with My Protein now for 5 years, and they've been, unconditionally supporting in anything I've needed to do, and wherever I've needed to go in the world, or obviously stepping on the Olympia stage, you do need help in the supplementation world, and yeah, they've always had my back, so they've been brilliant.
This is truly one of the coolest stories in all of bodybuilding over the course of the last 5 years, because if someone spoke to you about 2.5 years ago,
Yep.
you were on the verge of calling it a career after
Retiring,
the 2023 Olympia. Now fast forward to 2025, you now sit here as three-time reigning men's
Yeah, that's
physique
crazy.
Olympia champion. If somebody were to turn back the clock and somebody were to tell you in the summer of 2023 that, hey Ryan, by the way, in 2025, you're going to be sitting as three-time champ, what would you have told them?
I would have laughed in his face, or her face, to be honest with you. But yeah, just to throw that back, obviously I've been in the industry quite a long time now, 16 years, and I've done 10 Olympias, placing from 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and I was at my worst placing in 2023. So in 2022 Olympia, I placed 7th place, and it was the best condition, the best shape I'd ever got myself in, and it really hit me hard because I was thinking, I can't physically be any better than where I am right now, and I'm getting further and further away from the title. So I'm obviously not what the division is looking for anymore. They're going in a different direction, and I'm not what they want. So we had a very hard decision, a lot of tears, I'll be honest. Me and my wife took a good 6 months to make the decision to retire at the 2023 Olympia. So in that time, in order to mentally compartmentalize retirement, I set up a gym, I took on the British Championships, we had another child, and in that time, that was my way of shifting my focus into something else other than competing. So I had no expectations at the 2023 Olympia, and I asked my wife, my family, my friends, nobody come out with me. I want to go on my own because I want to just immerse myself in bodybuilding. I want to immerse myself backstage at the Olympia. I want to just enjoy every part of it. And when my family's there, I worry about them. I want to make sure they're fine. I want to make sure they're okay. And I didn't want that for my last experience. I wanted to just lap up the last time I'll ever be backstage. And sod's law, I went and won it from 7th to 1st place. And yeah.
What was the difference? When we talk about the package, the presentation, the size, the conditioning, you were at a place where you were wondering to yourself if the combination of all that you brought to the stage was truly even what this division was looking for going forward. And at that point, you decided to yourself, something had to change.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the process that you underwent from the presentation.
Yep.
I know there was a conversation about the posing,
Yes.
the musculature, the next level of conditioning that you knew you had to do to give yourself the best shot, not even at winning the whole thing, but really to just go out on a high in what you thought was going to be your last Olympia.
Yeah, so in 2023, like I said, we talked about the retirement, and in that year, there was one other title that I'd not got yet, and I really wanted to try and complete my resume, which was getting all the main shows, and it was the New York Pro, and it was mid-year, and I wanted to know what it would take to win that show, and I can then take it forward into the Olympia, just so then I know, hand on heart, when I retire, I've given my absolute everything to it. So we sat down, I spoke to Steve, and he told me about my back. I need to bring my back up. And up until that point, pure stupidity, I'll put my hands up. I probably should, I say naivety rather than stupidity. I should have spoke to them in previous years. But I just, because I prep myself, I keep myself to myself, I train myself. I didn't know to speak to judges and ask for help. And in 2023, I got the feedback and I needed a thicker back. My posing was terrible in their eyes. And I thought, I'm going to listen to everything they say. So then when I step on stage, I've done everything they've asked, and if it's not good enough, I can hold my hand up and walk away happy-ish. And that was the biggest change, because as soon as they showed me how to pose my back pose, as soon as I doubled up my back session, so twice a week, everything changed for me.
You know, one of the biggest things about this show, this platform, is that you have an opportunity to connect with your fans. This is a more informal setting. There is an aspect of discussing bodybuilding, but there is an aspect of, you know, achieving something that you didn't even think to yourself that was even possible anymore, and that was to have your name called and new Men's Physique Olympia champion.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about finding a purpose. We find about sometimes overcoming odds. Overcoming ourselves, our own self-doubts. There are so many fans here that you've obviously met over the course of the weekend that have their own stories. And as much as they look up to you as their fitness inspiration, for many, you take on somewhat of a life inspiration role. So you do carry that responsibility. What would you tell those who are listening here as far as overcoming that doubt, overcoming that obstacle that may be internal and may be mental, to achieve something that maybe they don't even believe they can achieve?
Yeah, I've got to admit, you're so true in that. I think a lot of people come to me, and when they talk to me, it's not about winning the title, it's about the journey to getting that title. So they always talk about the resilience or the persistence, maybe the obsessiveness, I don't know, but the fact that I never gave up over 10 years. And it's something that, when I look back now, I think I am proud of that. At the time, I didn't have time to think and be proud of it or be in the moment, because I had a job to do. And in my head, until I'd got that title, there was no second guessing it, or there was no other option. And I think since I was a child, if I put my mind to something, or if I say I'm going to do it, I have to see it through. And all these years when I was getting setbacks, when I had my hip surgery and I was dropping places, and a lot of things hit me over the years, there was something just telling me, you keep going. You stay in your lane, and your time will come. And that's kind of like how I'm speaking to people now, is if you truly, and this is not that I want to do something and it'd be nice to do it. If you truly believe in yourself and you know you can do it, the setbacks will just keep you going forward. That you'll get there in the end. And that's how I don't know how to explain it. It was just something in me saying, do not give up.
There is what you explained to us as far as, okay, doubling up on back sessions, working on your posing, but there is the other side, and this applies to bodybuilding, and it may apply to life as well in other aspects and other ambitions, and that is, you had to have gone into a dark place. You had to have gone into a place of, you know, going into a cave and not coming out until you've achieved what you achieved. Talk to us about that dark place that you had to go into between the New York Pro and that first Olympia that you won, and your biggest recollections from a mental, from a psychological perspective, what you had to put yourself through in order to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's so true. So many athletes, they draw inspiration from different places. I don't know why, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if something happened when I was younger, but I draw inspiration from people not believing in me, naysayers, people who write me off, and kind of a negative standpoint. So I always feel like I'm always having to prove myself to people, and by doing that, it always puts me in the trenches and makes me work harder. I've always liked to be in the shadows. I was always enjoying being the underdog. So I must admit, it was hard when I won the first title to change that mindset of being a champion, because I'm always the one who's the dark horse, who's always in the shadows. Maybe he'll do it, and I liked that because people stayed away from me. But I that year 2023 was the hardest year of my life, and nobody will ever know other than my wife how hard it actually was. So building a 20,000 square foot gym with 40 contractors, having a newborn in the house, running an expo not quite this size but of this magnitude, all while trying to prep for the Olympia, and I didn't have any outside help. I was living on 1 and 2 hours sleep. I was having blackouts. There was quite a lot of I would never ever advocate that or promote that, but because I pushed my body to my limits, I knew how far I could take it, and that's what made me win that Olympia title, was knowing how far I'd pushed myself, how much I'd sacrificed in my personal life and my career, and winning that title meant so much because of it. And ever since then, I know my limits. I keep pushing them more and more now.
You know, what I'm about to say, and I don't even know if you ever reflected it in these terms, but when I say it, it's probably going to sound pretty cool to you. This is a question that I've generally asked Phil Heath and Ronnie Coleman, dynastic champions. You are now a dynastic champion, having won, I know.
Shivers.
Hard to believe, but 3 times makes you a dynastic champion.
Thank you.
There comes that first championship, and you remember every moment when your name was called. You remember exactly the first thing you saw after that moment you blacked out. You remember the sound of Bob Ciccarilo's voice calling your name and the rush of emotions that it must have been. And you remember the few days after, and then eventually that moment weeks after where it really settled in that you were now the champion. And now you have to defend that title.
Yeah.
You have to defend it again. What mechanisms mentally did you have to put yourself through that you went from a place of self-doubt, a place of going into a dark place, and now all of a sudden you're the champion. You're now the hunted. What was that motivation? What did you have to put yourself through mentally in order to defend that title successfully?
So true. So I always envisaged when I became Mr. Olympic, because in my head I was always going to get that title at some point. I had so many aspirations of what I was going to do with the title. So I would do all these charity things. I was going to do a lot for my community. I was going to make my family, just put them on a pedestal and do everything. And because of what I'd done in that 6 months prior to winning, which was building the gym, setting the British Championship, all that kind of, the moment I stepped off stage, 2 days later, I was in a skip in the rain in the UK on a building site, trying to get the gym ready to open in January. So I never got the chance to celebrate with my family, raise a glass, or do anything with the title. So it really hit me hard, because 22 years of training, 10 years of competing, to not celebrate my life's goal. So it really hit me hard. So the second title was all about making amends for the first title. And it was all about bringing my family out, because I felt like I'd robbed them of it, because they were so supportive of me. They deserved to enjoy that with me.
What words of advice would you have to them in parting?
Yeah, I would say, obviously, everybody's human and everybody goes through the ups and downs, and it's just trying to take the wins, take the losses, but have that support team around you. Know it's okay not to be okay sometimes. And I think I really struggled with that, because I came from a family who put your big boy pants on and get on with things. You don't show your emotions. And over the years, I have softened up. Since I've had my children, actually, I'm an emotional wreck. And since having that, I'm okay with not being okay sometimes. And that's fine. But as long as you deal with it in the present, in the moment, and you move on, you don't dwell in it, you don't stay in there, and you find help. So if it's externally or if it's internally, you find help and you move on. Don't get stuck. I did that a few times. 2017, I wasn't ready to move on. I was in a bad spot, and it was me just making it worse and worse and worse. And the moment I accepted it and moved forward, is life-changing, is game-changing.
Well, on behalf of the bodybuilding world, your fans around the world, I can say that as a champion, as now a 3-time champion of the men's physique Olympia, you are as classy as it gets. You're a great ambassador, not only for your division, but for the sport. And I think you being the face now of the men's physique champion of the division brings a lot of fans, not only to that division, but to really fall in love with the story and your journey to that title. So I congratulate you for all the success, overcoming the doubt, and now pushing yourself to new heights of greatness, and appreciate all that you've done for the fans here. I've seen the lines, and I've seen you signing every last autograph. You're a credit to the sport, and you're a credit to this division. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause for your three-time men's Physique Olympia champion,
Thank you.
Ryan Terry.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.